Hello, everyone. Welcome to my first stream on YouTube about Splinterlands and a data analytics tool that I built to help the community come up with better strategies based on the many different rule sets and hopefully in the future, near future, also based on your collection. But you can kind of indirectly look at what the analytics tool is telling you in terms of best teams based on its database, and you can also kind of make changes to that based on your collection. So it's pretty indirect. Um, this is my first short tutorial video. I just will briefly explain the features and then how to sign in to Flavius. Right now, it's a tool that would require a Twitch subscription, and so you can find the link for Twitch on the About channel. Um, Once you go into cashability.com, you'll see a sign in button on the top right. You click on that, and then there'll be a login via Hive Keychain, which is a browser extension that you can install on your favorite browser. And you can just search for that extension by just searching for Hive Keychain. And then once you have that installed, you would have to import your your memo key, which is your lowest privileged crypto key for your Hive blockchain account, into the extension. Once you do that, then you should be able to type in your Hive account name and then log in. Then your Hive keychain will ask you about Cashability here, or really Flavius, asking to use your memo key right here, memo key for your account. Just confirm. And then once you subscribe to my Twitch channel, your authentication into Flavius using your memo key will work, and I'll activate all the features for the tool. And so I'll just go over the most important feature, which is the filtering of the battle results based on the Flavius database. So up on the top bar, there are totals of the size of the battle database. And the teams are separated by league. So you can see that of all the leagues that we have, silver, gold, and diamond, we have a total of 649,000 as of this moment, total teams. Of that, 110,000 approximately are silver teams, 83,000 are gold, and 455,000 are diamond slash champion teams. And then we also give you totals across all leagues that we have in the database for battles and monsters. And we do that especially for monsters so that we reduce the amount of backend calls to the Splinterlands game server APIs to get the monster names and abilities levels for these teams that we're putting into our database. And so we do have a database, and we don't use the game server APIs to run the queries that you may have, because that would take too much time. The game server APIs are not built to return back results from a kind of a big query like this. So the top part here, where you have the feed button um, for a player battle history to be fed into the database, that's currently disabled for everyone but myself. And the reason for that is I want to ensure that the curation of the data, battle data going into the database is from champion players for each of the leagues, so that you see really good teams when you perform a filter in the results set for each of the different leagues. So we try to avoid as much junky data as possible. We try to provide you, really good, winning teams from which you can kind of derive your own strategies based on your collection. Okay. So this top row here isn't really enabled for anyone else but me. And I do plan on moving this out into a Feed Flavius page. Um, the next biggest section is the meta filter. And so these, if you're familiar with the game, have all the factors that you would need to consider when you come up with your team for like a ranked battle. So you got a summoner field, and this should have all the summoners available in the game. You'll see some weird stuff that I haven't cleaned out yet where it says card not found, and those are summoners that are provided for free when you buy the summoners spellbook. And so those are not really player-owned NFTs, and for some reason they weren't IDing well in the through the game server APIs because they're not really NFTs. They're more like ghost cards, and so I haven't cleaned that out yet. Just ignore that. But if you look, it should have all of the current summoners in the game, as well as a group of summoners, and you group them by color. And the red color represents the fire splinter, the blue represents the water splinter, green is earth, white is life, black is death, and gold is dragon. And then just neutral is there, but that's something you wouldn't really select since there are no summoners for neutral. For excluded splinters, when you get into a ranked battle, for example, this is Splinterlands, you'll see that there will be some splinters excluded under the battle constraints. So you can see that for this particular battle, I'm highlighting water splinter is excluded. So you can pick any other splinter but the water splinter when making up your team for this ranked battle I just did, or I did yesterday. Okay, so if you want to, you can specify an excluded splinter, and that's just to give you a more focused result set for a particular battle condition. And then same goes for owner. Now these owners are in the database because of the curated list of players that are that have battles that are being brought into the database. Some of those curated players will fight, of course, other players that are not part of that list, and so you'll find names in here that you might be wondering why they're included, because I just mentioned I curate only top players in each league is because those top players fought those players, and so because of that, those owner names get brought in to this list. So I'm not going to specify an owner right now because we want to try to give you a nice size result set. That's part of this first tutorial. So let's do a roll, and let's do an aim true for the first roll, and then maybe for the second roll we'll do another aim true. And when you have both the first and second roll the same, what that's basically asking Flavius to do is just find those battles where the only roll is aim true. And then we'll specify a mana cap, let's say 25. And so that's going to look for all battles with mana cap at 25 and under. And so, yeah, there's no way right now where you can just ask Flavius just to give you 25 mana cap battles. But they are sorted and ordered by win-loss and also mana cap. So all the wins will show up first, and those wins, the 25 mana cap teams show up first. And then for leagues, what we want to do, since I play Diamond, is I want to look at only Diamond teams that meet this current criteria. So we pretty much, right now, to sum up, want to look for battles where the only roll is aimed true at 25 or less mana cap, and we want to find those battles where the excluded splinter was water, and only those teams for diamond you can only play in diamond. So those are going to be maxed out monsters and summoners because you can't really play that in gold. So let's go ahead and press the big blue button to start the filter. and it takes a few seconds, and the first results will show up in the list, and then a few seconds later you'll see what I'll go over a little bit, the ranked ordering of the splinters by point, manicap, and cumulative. And you can see that the ordering of the filter results is first done by results, so all the wins are going to show up, and then the wins are sorted by manicap. So here are our 25 manicap wins. You can see all of these battles were constrained, where the excluded splinters is just water. And you can see that the rule set is only aim true, and you can also see this team, Selenia Sky team, that they won against the Camellia Sungazer team, and here is the owner. Now you can drop down that team to get a quick look as to the makeup of the monsters for that Selenia dragon team. So you can see that it brought in the Earth Splinter, the Centaur. And then if you want to look at the battle, play it back, you can click on the battle link, and that will just take you to the battle replay. And of course, all that stuff will come up. And so here is the Selenia Sky team against Camellia. Camellia is going to lose. So this is where you kind of can do focus study of particular strategies. You can kind of derive a strategy from the owner of the Selenia team and make your own theories as to why this strategy worked against this dragon team, this Camellia dragon team that brought in the Death Splinter. Right, so there you go. So that's gonna be the end of this short tutorial. It was mostly about just kind of giving you a feel for the layout of the filter screen, which is really the major feature of Flavius. Next tutorial, I'll just go over the dashboard as well, which only has a couple of charts. We do need your support. The database server does cost quite a bit, so we need subscribers to pay for the database server costs. So a monthly subscription would be very helpful in keeping this tool up and running and available to all you guys. Okay, thank you so much for watching. See you next time.